Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Vedant Agarwal. Well, we are counting down to the big swearing-in ceremony of Narendra Modi, which will be held on Sunday at 7:15 p.m. in the evening. It's going to be a grand show. It's NDA 3.0, this time in a new avatar with all the coalition partners taking center stage. Well, we have a big exclusive on the NDA 3.0. What will it look like? Well, the entire cabinet is unlikely to be sworn in tomorrow, and in a big move, the NDA is likely to split up those ministries which were given to a single minister. My colleague Nikunj Garg has more.
This is the return of the coalition politics after at least 1 decade. And this is also after a very, very long time regional players like JDU and the TDP principally currently are also becoming important and also going to call the shots. So in those geographies also, Bihar and Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, there is a disproportionate amount of interest in the government formation. So two things with certainty we are telling our viewers at this point in time on this Saturday evening. Number one, when the swearing in takes place, that is at 7:15 tomorrow official time, the full Modi cabinet, the strength of which can be between 78 to 81, will not be visible to the people. The shape of the full complete cabinet will take some days to come. So what will be visible to the viewers, even that we can put out with some amount of certainty now. It is that nearly 24 top ministers, of course the ministries are atop the rising hill, which means the Home, Defense, Finance, External Affairs, ministers will be sworn in tomorrow. Critical ministries like critical infrastructure ministries like steel, civil aviation, heavy industries, iron and coal, those ministries' cabinet portfolios will be allocated tomorrow. In all, we can inform our viewers with some amount of certainty now is that more than 24 ministers and nearly 30 odd ministers would be sworn in tomorrow, which means the larger share of the cabinet would not be visible tomorrow, which also would mean that MOS's independent charges, MOS's in the ministries, various ministries, remember ministries like Home have in the last government had 3 MOS's with specific charge. So those will not be visible to the viewers tomorrow. What they can see will be the top rung or the elite rung of the cabinet tomorrow at around between 7:15 and 8. So currently, we can also tell our viewers that the official timing for the swearing-in ceremony is between 7:15 and 8 p.m. That may extend as the negotiations, hectic negotiations going on right now. I spoke to somebody involved in those negotiations an hour back, and he smiled at me, said, currently between the Prime Minister's office, the BJP and the allies, even they are not certain how many would be making it to the cabinet currently as we go to tomorrow. So hectic negotiations on, but two things sure, not the full cabinet tomorrow, nearly 24 to 30 ministers, all top ministries with the infrastructure, economy and the rising annual defense strategy focus would be sworn into. The planning in the ministries and the government was that they will be reducing the number of the ministries going forward and not increasing. So like take for example Jyotiraditya Scindia has steel and the civil aviation, two very critical ministries for the economic development and the growth of the country. That is not going to be the case anymore. No minister is going to have more than one ministry in charge, including ministers like Mr. Amit Shah, who were having home and corporation corporation affairs ministry, that was cooperation affairs ministry, whatever, that was culled out later by the government. So single minister would generally be in charge of a single ministry. So the steel and civil aviation would now go to 2 ministers. Original thinking and plan in the government was that they would reduce the number of ministries to less than 3 dozen. That would not be possible.
So, well, it's a cabinet of consensus with allies including the JDU and the TDP taking centre stage. What sources have indicated is that both the JDU and the TDP will get one ministerial berth in the cabinet each. Also, the other alliance partners, including the Apna Dal as well as Jayant Chaudhary's RLD, are likely to get one MOS position each. So, well, the BJP in a sense could draw a red line for the alliance partners. My colleague Maria Shakil has more on this.
NDA के They are 32 seats short of the majority number, which is the 272 in the Lok Sabha. So indication is that this is about consensus and continuity. Prime Minister Modi yesterday, while speaking in the Central Hall of Parliament, emphasized on the word consensus. The government will be that of continuity because there is a roadmap of sorts which has been unveiled by the government, which they implemented also in terms of infra portfolios and others, infrastructure in particular, highways, roadways, all across India. So expect all those portfolios which are seen as part of Prime Minister Modi's vision to be with the BJP. And as far as the alliance partners are concerned, the JDU and also the TDP in particular, I think there are negotiations which are happening, John, not only for the birth. Here, the emphasis by these two politicians like Nitish Kumar and Chandrababu Naidu is what they are getting for their respective states. Remember, both these chief ministers had been demanding, one, a special package, which is essentially the state of Bihar, and also special status, which has been one of the demands since the bifurcation of Andhra Pradesh. So I think the negotiations are happening at multiple levels. It's not just about a portfolio. It is also about what they will be carrying back to their respective states if they are part of a government at the center.
And well, like 2014 and 2019, it's going to be a grand show at the swearing-in ceremony of the Prime Minister and the NDA cabinet. Well, hectic preparations underway at the Rashtrapati Bhawan. There you can see, in fact, security has been ramped up at the Raisina Hills. In fact, Delhi has turned into a no-fly zone. My colleague Ishika reports from the Raisina Hills. Take a look.
Tomorrow is a big day, a historic day. Narendra Modi will take oath as the Prime Minister of India for the third time. Now, 8,000 guests are expected to arrive at the event that is going to take place at around 7:15 p.m. tomorrow. Now, first let me tell you that I am reporting from Kartavya Path, where let me show you very beautiful visuals that we are getting you of the Rashtrapati Bhavan, where this entire oath-taking ceremony will take place. My camera person Stephen Anthony is in fact trying to show you the beautiful visuals of the Rashtrapati Bhavan that we are getting you right now. Now, apart from this, let me also tell you that for all of this, security arrangements are going to be kept in place in the national capital. In fact, let me tell you that a 3-layered security deployment will be done from tomorrow onwards. Now, for the inner layer, that is the inner perimeter, that will cover the areas around the Rashtrapati Bhavan and also the Kartavya Path. Now, if we talk about the outer layer, that will include, in fact, the hotels, the security arrangements at hotels like Taj, the Leela, the Oberoi, where all the foreign dignitaries who are attending this event will be staying. Now, for that, a designated route has also been established, which will be covered by a special security cover, which includes, snipers, which includes drone monitoring as well. And if we talk about the third security layer, which includes the outermost, that will be the surveillance from ground to air of the area around central Delhi. So 3-layered security barricade that we'll see from tomorrow morning onwards. And let me tell you that the Delhi police officials have also said that for 2 days, that is from tomorrow and the day after, there will be no flying zone in the national capital. That means total prohibition of the aerial platform. Now, apart from that, let me also tell you that there are 2,500 police personnel who will be deployed for the security arrangements, and this includes 5 companies of the paramilitary personnel, and apart from that, snipers, NSG commandos, all of them will be deployed here where this entire ceremony will take place. But certainly it is going to be a historic day tomorrow. Narendra Modi taking oath as the Prime Minister for the third time in the Rashtrapati Bhavan, where we continue to show that how beautifully it is lit today, just a day before the oath-taking ceremony. We are in fact trying to zoom in and show you the beautiful Rashtrapati Bhavan, which is in fact lit very beautifully, and you can see the people who in fact have come here to admire the beauty just before the oath-taking ceremony. Now, in Delhi with camera person Stephen Anthony, this is Ishika Verma for NDTV.
Meanwhile, key neighborhood leaders have already arrived in Delhi for the swearing-in ceremony, including Sheikh Hasina, also Ahmed Afif. Interestingly, Mohammad Muizzu of the Maldives is also here for the swearing-in ceremony. This, of course, reflects India's neighborhood-first policy that's really been a key focus of the NDA governments in the past 10 years. My colleague Mohammad Ghazali reports.
As PM designate, Mr. Narendra Modi is going to take oath for its third term in the office tomorrow. Foreign dignitaries have also started arriving in India, with Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina arrived today afternoon. But in the national capital, these welcome messages on these banners with pictures of foreign dignitaries who have been invited and who have shown their confirmation to participate in the swearing-in tomorrow has been put out in the national capital. And the most controversial photo, to say, or the one picture which has hit the headlines in the last 3 days since its confirmation for attending the swearing-in ceremony is the Maldivian president, Mr. Muizzu. Mr. Muizzu came to power last year on an anti-India campaign where he had asked for Indian troops to leave that island nation. But later, the relations between the two countries hit a dip because of the social media exchanges between the Maldivian parliamentarians who used foul language against Indian Prime Minister, and later Indians decided to boycott Maldives for a tourist destination. The Maldivian tourism took a hit, but last month, when it all looked like the relations will only further worsen between the two countries, the Foreign Minister of Maldives visited India. He held a meeting with S. Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister, and the relations from that very point it started looking that now things will improve. And with Muizzu's participation in the swearing-in ceremony, it also sends out a message that India's neighborhood first policy will continue in the next term of PM designate Mr. Narendra Modi. In the 2014, when he came to power, he had invited leaders of the SAARC countries. In 2019, the BIMSTEC countries were invited, or heads of those states were invited, of those countries which are along the Bay of Bengal. But in this swearing-in ceremony, Mr. Narendra Modi has invited leaders from the countries who are in and around the Indian Ocean, like Maldives, Mauritius, Seychelles, President of Sri Lanka, President of Maldives, and also the neighboring heads of the states of the neighboring countries like Nepal, Bhutan. But three neighbors, Afghanistan, Pakistan and China, no senior leader or the head of the state has been invited or will be attending this ceremony. But very interesting will be to see that which will be the first country Prime Minister designate Mr. Modi will be travelling after assuming the office.
And moving now to the Congress in a huddle as well. Well, the top Congress body, the Congress Working Committee, met and passed two key resolutions. Of course, the resolution was passed to choose Rahul Gandhi as the leader of opposition. In fact, after the Congress Working Committee meet, the Congress Parliamentary Party also met, choosing Sonia Gandhi as the chairperson of the Parliamentary Party yet again. In fact, in the Parliamentary meet as well, the proposal was made to elect Rahul Gandhi as the leader of opposition. He says he will consider the CWC's request. Take a look.
We adopted two resolutions today. They have decisively rejected both the substance and style of governance over the past decades. The verdict of the people is not just a political loss, but a moral defeat for the Prime Minister who sought the mandate in his name and ran a campaign anchored in lies, hate, prejudice, divisiveness and extreme bigotry. Another resolution we had passed unanimously. CWC unanimously requested Sri Rahul Gandhi ji to take the leader of the opposition position in Lok Sabha.
And well ahead of the swearing-in ceremony on Sunday, Mamata Banerjee has decided to skip the oath-taking ceremony. She has dubbed the NDA government as undemocratic and illegal. In fact, she says that election processes cannot go on for 2 months. In fact, she said that not a single TMC MP will attend the swearing-in ceremony. This as she chaired a key meeting of the TMC along with her nephew Abhishek Banerjee. She continues to be the chairperson of the TMC Parliamentary Party, and Sudeep Banerjee has been elected as a Lok Sabha leader, while Derek O'Brien is the Rajya Sabha leader of the TMC. Take a look.
না এসছে না যাবে আমি তো বলেই দিয়েছি দেশের মানুষকে কাল শুভকামনা জানাবো দেশের মানুষদের ভোট দেয়নি বলে इसीलिए मैं सॉरी हम ये जो गवर्नमेंट पूरा अनडेमोक्रेटिकली अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनली इलीगली गवर्नमेंट बना रहे हैं, हम उसको शुभकामना नहीं दे सकता है। आई एम सॉरी फॉर दैट। हमका शुभकामना देश के लिए रहेगा कि लेट अस होप फॉर द बेस्ट फॉर द फ्यूचर। हम एमपी लोगों को रिक्वेस्ट करने चाहेंगे, जो भी पार्टी है, आपका पार्टी को मजबूत बनाओ। अभी बीजेपी को समझना है कि इसको पार्टी तोड़ना अच्छा काम मत करो, पहले आपका पार्टी तोड़ जाएगा। हमने नहीं तोड़ेंगे, आपका अंदर से ही जाएगा। आपका अंदर का सब आदमी खुश नहीं है, ये हम देख रहा है।
And well, the Lok Sabha elections have been about the resurgence of the regional satraps, the regional parties, and key regional parties were in a huddle on Saturday. In fact, not just the TMC but also the Samajwadi Party. Akhilesh Yadav, in fact, met the winning MPs of the Samajwadi Party. The strategy going forward was also discussed, given the fact that now many positions have fallen vacant, including the leader of opposition position, because Akhilesh Yadav was the LOP and he is now a member of parliament from Kannauj. Listen in.
समाजवादी पार्टी देश के तीसरे नंबर की पार्टी बन गई है, जहां पार्टी को इतना बड़े पैमाने पर जनता का समर्थन मिला है। वहीं समाजवादियों की जिम्मेदारी बढ़ गई है, जनता की एक एक बात, जनता की समस्याओं का उठाना, उनके हित में अपनी बात रखना। समाजवादियों का लगातार संघर्ष रहेगा लोकसभा में, जिससे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जनता के बीच में और उनके लिए सेवा कर सकें। नकारात्मक राजनीति खत्म हुई है, सकारात्मक राजनीति का दौर शुरू हुआ है। जनता की मुद्दों की जीत हुई है।
With that, we'll take a short break now. News continues on the other side. Welcome back. A fallout of what has been a huge concern in Uttar Pradesh, paper leaks and of course tampering with recruitment exams. Remember, we all remember that huge paper leak that happened with the police recruitment exam. There was a lot of anger on the ground. Many in fact attribute the BJP's losses in Uttar Pradesh to this aspect as well. And now the Yogi government is moving to bring a law dealing with cheating in examinations, particularly recruitment examinations. In fact, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has said that tampering with such exams is absolutely unacceptable. Tanishq Punjabi is now joining us live on the phone line. So Tanishq, about time that an anti-cheating law is implemented in Uttar Pradesh.
Well, yes, of course, and we have to see it from the prism of the whole debacle, of course, because one of the paper leak recently was one of the things that rocked Uttar Pradesh just before the Lok Sabha elections, and according to many experts, this was one of the reasons that unemployment in Uttar Pradesh was one of the reasons that did affect the BJP vote bank. But yes, now of course, UP government now stepping up. They have now decided that a law regarding paper leak will be brought very soon to deal with solver gang and paper leak mafias, all of them. And of course, special instructions have been given to all the officials to make sure the recruitment happens in the vacant posts under the UP government. But of course, this of course can be seen as the Yogi government coming in damage control mode, and this is not the first time the BJP government is talking about an anti-cheating bill. In 90s, anti-cheating bill was brought in by Kalyan Singh government as well. And another thing, of course, the centre's anti-cheating bill was passed by Parliament earlier this year, and central exams will be under the purview of the law of that law and the bill. But yes, Yogi government now stepping up and of course taking action against the paper leak. Recently the Uttar Pradesh police constable paper leak happened, and then of course the exams were cancelled and will be held very soon now. Yes.
Tanesh, thanks very much for joining us with that update there. So, an anti-cheating law in Uttar Pradesh to be implemented soon. That's what Yogi Adityanath has said, saying that such tampering with examinations is absolutely unacceptable. This as there was a lot of anger and outrage after there was paper leaks reported in major recruitment examinations. And moving now to news from Andhra Pradesh. Well, Chandrababu Naidu is all set to take oath as the Chief Minister on the 12th of this month. That's next week. In fact, he will be in Delhi for the big swearing-in ceremony on Sunday, after which he will be taking oath as the Chief Minister next week. Remember, he's emerged as a key NDA ally with those 16 MPs that he actually brings to the coalition. But of course, for Andhra Pradesh as well, it's really history that will be created, the return of Chandrababu Naidu. Aishwarya is now joining us live on the phone line. So, Aishwarya, he will be taking oath on the 12th of June after the big swearing-in ceremony on Sunday in Delhi.
Well, certainly it is Chandrababu Naidu who will return back to Delhi after attending Prime Minister Narendra Modi's oath-taking ceremony in Delhi. And now the Chief Minister's office in Andhra Pradesh has also confirmed that it could be on June 12th at 11:27 at beg your pardon, at around 9:27 a.m. near the Keshavali IT Park in Vijayawada itself, and therefore there have been elaborate arrangements also that is now being made at a brisk place for swearing-in ceremony of the TDP National President Chandrababu Naidu as the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. At least 10 senior leaders would be sworn in on the same day itself. Remember, it is the NDA which had come back to the power with a landslide victory with Jan Sena and the Bharatiya Janata Party also in alliance, and therefore the reason perhaps now the preparations have begun. The MLA's meeting will be called in very soon after Chandrababu Naidu will return to Andhra Pradesh.
Aishwarya, thanks very much for joining us with that. Perhaps the Prime Minister could also attend the swearing-in ceremony, and it's going to be a week of oath-taking ceremonies as 4 assembly elections were also held simultaneously with the Lok Sabha polls. That's all the time that we have on the show from all of us here. Goodbye.